Check, my check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the number of perfection. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy DJ Def back again with another reaction. So, guys, we have another interesting topic for us to discuss today. Shout out to my Instagram. If you are not following your boy on Instagram yet, please don't hesitate. Go down to my Instagram. If you do not know how to spell it, it's in the link of the description below. Follow your boy and follow your boy to continue to send great content my way. It is much appreciated. Give me your thoughts. Give me the videos you want me to react to by going down in the Instagrams. However, I found this video out on my own because it's none other the one that need no introduction. Brittany Renner. She is back into the news yet again, living the Instagram lifestyle like no other IG model. Honestly, it's crazy. It is crazy, and it is crazy some more. So, she is apparently in the news now, making the video about her going back to her parents, her sister, taking her child along with her. All of these things I've already seen part of the video, so I have a visual of what it is to come. But, however, we need to read what it is that she is saying on her IG. So, I want to make sure that this is clear. And we break down and dissect what it is that she is saying in this comment section below before we get into the context of what she is portraying or conveying through her Instagram video. So without further ado, let's get to reading. So it says, can you imagine being 29 years old with a baby living back with your parents because you were kicked out of your house? I left willingly because I go where I'm celebrated, not tolerated, with nowhere to go without a vehicle. Okay, first off, let's get some key points out the way based on what she just said in this segment. Was you kicked out or did you willingly leave? Some people can argue whether she was kicked out by PJ because it was his home. You know, after she did what she did, whatever. Or other people can argue she willingly left. Some can argue because she has mentioned before that she was cheated on by him, which is why she ultimately left. Is that true? There's no way to find out unless we get both sides of the coin. And all we have from PJ Washington is that, oh, you was playing it all along. That's all we got from him. So she's conveying her side of the story, and while he's just doing his thing in the NBA. However, I probably would be more on the likelihood of her leaving. She willingly left within that 2-month span, rather than opposed to being kicked out. That's just my belief based on what has transpired thus far. However, not having a vehicle, are you telling me with all of this money that you had, this pedestal that you have been elevated and put on so high to the point to where you have been an artist, you didn't have a car of your own? He was paying for it? Come on now. You're better than that. You're supposed to be a boss bee. Pay for your own car. But let's continue. Can you imagine not being mentally, physically, emotionally ready to get back into the gym, let alone host a club after just having a baby, but you have to work to take care of your child? Well, with this, it's called being a parent. It's called having responsibilities. It's called being a mother at the end of the day. That's what it's called. You asked to bring a child into this world, and there could be a lot of people to argue and say, I didn't ask for the child to be in this world. Well, guess what? You hit it wrong. You made videos and written books about your promiscuous past in these books, and talking about videos of hidden guys raw. If you want to come up on a paycheck. Hit it raw. This is what you asked for. So I don't care where your intention was of, I didn't want no child. Well, you hit it raw, so your intention should have been that a child will definitely come out, especially if his pull-out game is weak. But that's no here or there. What about being harassed about receiving $200K in child support? Which is not true. I don't know why anyone in their right mind would believe such a ridiculous amount, but it's clear the real pandemic is how stupid people are. Okay, all right, that's hilarious. Look, we all know 200K child support, that's unrealistic. However, we do know that the court system is in favor for the woman, not so much for the man. Here's the situation with all of this. If you're talking about you moving back with your parents and your mom, your sister, and all of these things, why is the child in your possession to begin with? Why do you have full custody? I feel as though the court system is really rigid. It's messed up. It's always here to favor the woman, not the man. Even if the man is in the best position possible, he cares about his child, yet because the woman wants to take away the child away from him just to get back at him for whatever apparent reason that may be, just out of spite, who knows? That is one of the things that one of the worst things you can do to a man. But also, here's the key irony thing to that. For all the women that might be watching, that's also one of the worst things you can do to a child. Which is why we are in situations that we are in currently today. It's because we do not have our fathers present in our lives, and some of that is on the mother. Some of the fault has to go towards the mother, not just the father, because the mother has chose to say, you know what, I'm going to take this away from you since you did da da da. And that affects not only the father, but it affects the child. And then you try to brainwash, and gaslight the situation for your child to manipulate them into believing that the father don't even want to take care of your child. And that's the worst thing you can ever do, even then to your own child. So understand, take that into consideration before you ultimately make the decision of, do you want to take your child away from the father, especially if it's a boy? He needs to understand structure. He needs to understand logic, discipline, and order. That is some of the fundamentals of what it means to be a man. And when you take those things away from him, what do he have left? Nothing but emotion. He reacts on emotion, which is why we have a lot of our weak boys today. Because they're not learning from their fathers, they're learning from their mothers. And they feel as though aggression is the way of being a man. So if someone says something about you on IG, you immediately want to pop off and want to fight and show the aggression and retaliation towards them. That's not being a man. That's just being combative. Right? So let's continue on and let's see what else she has to say. But we already know the 200K ain't real. Well, what about being accused of being a pedophile, a gold digger, better yet, a spiteful BM keeping their son from his dad when he wasn't even in the same state at the time? Again, let's just hop on this. You did mention that you was a gold digger. Again, you have the books and you have the videos. If you want to come up on a man, hit them raw. You want to come up on a paycheck, that's where they at. The athletes. So you're technically, even if you didn't literally say you're a gold digger, you're presenting that you are. It's all about reading in between the lines. There's always that gray area, right? However, spiteful, hey, you can argue that as well. Keeping your son away from the dad. Again, if he has the makings of a foundation, the money, the resources to be able to take care of his child, why not just give your son or daughter to the father? If you're not in the best position possible to take care of the child, Why not just put the child in the best position possible, if that means giving it to the father? What's so hard about that? That I can't fathom. I can't begin to understand why they do the things that they do, and then why the court system allow it to go on. I just don't understand it. However, more on is say, all of this. Let me see. All of this has been my reality on top of trying to get things afloat financially, getting back in the groove of social media after being falling off the face of the earth and being a new mother. More on, it says, there isn't a person I know that could handle what I've been put through. I'm so happy it unfolded in this manner because you can you imagine being miserable in a relationship for the lifestyle is what she meant to say, for the lifestyle you can create on your own. Again, look, you created the lifestyle. You created that lifestyle. When you blew up on Rockstar, right? Everybody's talking about you. You got all the DMs, all the blue check marks. Everybody want to clamor to you because how you look, you now became this new IG model, the new one that everybody is talking about. And you now had to make a decision because here's the funny thing about it. She mentioned on Kevin Samuels, I believe, talk that they've had, days prior, that she used to be a caregiver for the disabled. So a lot of people would think in their right mind, oh, she was the caregiver. She cared about people. She cared about other beings other than herself. So now she is afflicted. She's now having to battle between, good and bad, flesh and blood, essentially. Let's put it like that. She's having to battle between flesh and blood. Do I continue to push out this life of being this wise woman or this caregiver or whatever the case might be and just live this regular normal life and just post those kind of things on IG? Or do I move over to what we have and what we see today? Having this promiscuous lifestyle with the books, the videos, and etc., the glitz and the glamour. Showing your booty on IG, half-hearted clothes, and all of these things. And ultimately, she sat down and she said, okay, if I want to continue to be put on a higher pedestal, this is what I'm going to have to push into the world. So again, you created the bed that you sleep in. It's no one else's fault but yours. However, it says, can you imagine moving from a gorgeous condo in Woodland Hills, California to Charlotte, North Carolina, and it still not work out? ? Can you imagine feeling the need to sacrifice everything, identity and independence included, to be loved? Guys, it is very important for the men out there. Strap it up. If you don't plan on making this woman your wife, strap it up. Period. And for the woman, do not carry before you marry. It is important to marry before you carry. Very, very important. Don't allow this man to do the things that he do. If you don't want to have a child. Oops, it was by accident. No, it was intentional because you hit it wrong. No one else's fault but yourself. You have to look at yourself in the mirror. Moreover, I have no shame in my game. I've made a lot of money and I've blown a lot of money. I've made a lot of money and I've blown a lot of money. Despite popular belief, I don't have it all together. Oh, we see. But each day I do my best, and each day my best gets better. Here's to new beginnings, never giving up and following your heart. I feel as though most people especially in today's time on this western side of the hemisphere, is that this image that we have seen on TV has caused a lot of us to be more consumers than creators. Although this world is created by men, off the backs of men, and is still being created off the backs of men, we have even then pushed men to become more consumers than creators. Because here's the thing, a creator's or rather the consumer's mentality is that because I want to consume, I want everything to be now for me. That is a consumer's mentality. Whereas a creator's mentality is, I want to create something for the future. I want what is now to be for later, and then some. Right? So when you have a creator's mentality, you're creating a foundation so it can never be broken. Rather, a consumer's mentality, especially when you're an NBA player, a football player, NHL, MLB, OnlyFans, escort, stripper, exotic dancer, or just an Instagram model. That is quick money. It's not sustainable long term. So you now have to create this creator's mentality of, if you're going to make this fast money now, how can you stretch it on for the longevity of your lifetime? So you never run out of it. Right? And then when you start to have this money to where it's like F you money, you can do whatever, whenever, however. But if you're consuming every time you receive the paycheck, you begin to do what she has done. Made a lot of money and blown a lot of it as well. But let's see what she has to say in the video, and then we're going to move from there.
Moved into my new place today. Y'all, when I tell you, I have been thugging, okay? Like, been living with my mom and my sister. It's me, my mom, my sister, my baby. I mean, because, 2.5 months when I decided to leave, my baby was 2.5 months old, I didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't even have a car. I still don't have a car. I got rid of my car. Empty promises, whatever, but
how, with all of this money that you have made, with such a high pedestal that you have been uplifted to the point to where you are looked upon as a goddess, and goddess is money. You don't have a car. How can you be a boss bee, fight for equality, yet you want everything to be paid for? A boss pay for stuff themselves. They take care of themselves before anything else. That is what a boss is to do. So how can you be this boss bee, fighting for equality, and you ain't got nothing to show for it yourself? Yeah. That car should have been in your name. That car should have been bought for you. He shouldn't have had to buy that car for you. If you such a boss bee, you should have already had that car before the relationship even came into play. If that is the case, you don't have a car and you still, come on now, you still don't have a car? What car are you driving now, mamas? Come on now.
I've been thugging so hard, Beach. Beach, this has really been the hardest time of my life. And here I am. Because I thought somebody, right. Because, that to say, don't ever relinquish your independence for a relationship. Follow your dreams, not your boyfriend. A man is not a financial plan. Always have your own things. I honestly feel like since this situation, I don't think, even if I was married, I can't see myself not having my own house outside of the main house. Like, I would just have to have my own space. Maybe that.
Well, look, guys, I think as though what she just said is kind of what causes women to fight for or have this own independence for themselves as well. But I think that the transition of this all and what has kind of transpired, and ideally you can say is one of the creators, if not flat out the origin of this modern woman as what we see today, kind of started from the traditional woman, so to speak, because as women grew up, they continued to evolve into society. They got married not having anything, so they relied on a man to take care of everything, them including the family that they had, the household, and all of it in between. And then if something was to break apart their relationship, God forbid, then she was left on her own with nothing at all. And so, which is, you can argue, one of the very reasons of how child support became what it is today, because now they're relying on the government rather than opposed to the husband, and it has now became very toxic, so to speak, and taken advantage of very wrongfully, because even then the government did not see what we have now seen transpire become what it is. In regarding to child support, the whole, food stamps and all of this government assistance, they didn't think that it would become what it is now, especially amongst the black community. Considering we were such a stronghold, even going back into Black Wall Street shortly after slavery, we had a very high marriage rate within the black community, and we were strong for each other. Even though we were separated and isolated away from the other races, we still made things out on our own and came up together. But look, it created this independence because the woman didn't have anything. They didn't push towards their younger children, which is what we have as the modern woman today, is that get a job, get a career, don't worry about a man. And now the modern woman has taken that and now have tried to look as if it is good to get degrees, which there's no problem with that, but they make it seem as though is if I get all of this money, I become a multimillionaire, I start this business, I get this degree and all these things, that a man is going to like that and want to get with me even more. And that is not necessarily the case, because what is normally the woman's mentality? What your money is my money, but what my money is not your money necessarily. So now the man is thinking about that and saying, well, what do I benefit for you having 2 degrees and being a multimillionaire if your money is not also my money? So it is very critical that you have 2 chairs, 1 table, and you sit down and you critically think about the things that you're going to do upon that relationship, and you have an understanding of who one another is and how you're going to benefit and bounce off of each other. Because if you don't have that understanding, it's always going to be conflict and problems in your relationship because y'all don't see eye to eye. But let's continue to see what else she has to say. Let's finish this up.
But also, it's crazy. Like, people, they want to see you fail. Oh, they want to see you fail when you don't.
They do. They do.
They have no control over you.
Do.
They can't do anything because all you fucking do is win. Like, God, this girl's still here? Because I thought somebody thought there was... Yeah, I thought. You thought. We all thought. I want to say thank you to the people on all social media platforms that continue... God, don't cry. Yeah. That continue to support.
Let me say this real quick, based on what she's saying, like, people wanted to see her fail. I can kind of relate to that to a certain extent. I mean, even then with me being on YouTube, but even then before that, you know, just removing the curtains, so to speak, going back into my childhood, being deaf. I didn't always embrace my disability and me being deaf, because I just thought that I was just a nobody or whatever. And then I even then had people making fun of me and doing all of these things and controlling my emotions or my reactions based on the things that they've done and or said, which now then allows them to control me. And I've learned long ago by my mother is that don't allow someone else to control your emotions, because when they control your emotions, they control you. They have the keys and the locks to you, which causes you to become very unbecoming. And what do I mean by that? You now step out of your character of who you know you are to be. So I will say definitely for her is that she strikes me as the type of person where despite the comments coming at her, she just laughs and she just moves on with her life. And that is how you are to deal with anything, no matter who it is that's talking bad about you, putting you down. Just laugh and move on, because you're going to be the better one in the long run than they will. And then when they see you again, and you've elevated, now they're looking at you like, damn. Now they gotta be humble. But let's continue.
Because this shit's a fucking privilege to have. I'm so fucking thankful. I swear to God, I see the world with a whole different set of eyes now. I really do. Thank you for the people who continue to support me despite the fuckery that I've had to endure after being lied on. Thank you to my real friends and my family that aren't yes men, that have my fucking back, because that's about the only reason I have some of my sanity. Just thank you. And thank you to the universe for redirection. Thank God I didn't get what I thought I wanted, because okay, I'll take a few months of disappointment over a lifetime of disappointment. I forgot to add, leave after the first lie. People can change, but they rarely do. When people are lying about what they're lying about, ain't no fixing that. Ain't no coming back from that, bro. That's how you rockin'. If that's how you rockin', I ain't rolling. Last thing. A lot of people are afraid to leave relationships.
Yeah.
Fear of missing out. Like, oh, I built this person up. No one else is gonna reap the benefits. I don't want to start over. I'm scared. Oh my God, who's gonna want me? Especially as a mom. Because fucking moms, we're just shamed for everything. No one's gonna want to be with you. You have a kid, There's just fear of leaving. Fear of just looking stupid. The only time you look stupid is when you allow yourself to look stupid. You don't look stupid when something doesn't work out. And bitch, you've had enough. It doesn't even have to be, I had enough. This doesn't work for me. We are not a match. We are not a vibrational match. And I'm going to be on my way. If anything, I'm smart. Because I don't have time to waste. My energy is...
All right, well, that's pretty much that. That's the whole video. Key points out of that: she mentioned about the vibrational, the universe. She mentioned about the lying, and then you can just see there's hurt in her based on the past relationship that she just got out of with PJ Washington. So let's kind of break that down a little bit before we wrap this up. The vibrational, the whole zodiac sign and the universe, and relying on the universe to... Guys, look, experience is the greatest teacher you can ever have. Action is what you need to take in order to be successful in anything and everything that you do in life. You have to take action, and then you have to be disciplined in that action. You have to be consistent. All right? That is what you have to do. That is the critical and the fundamentals of being successful at the end of the day. That is what it is. Now, the lies. You can argue if the person lied to you once, then they'll continue to lie again. People change. You can agree with that. Comment down below if you agree with some of the things that she said. I can agree with that, so to speak. But guess what? We kind of all lie in relationships, right? Hey, baby, what you think about this new dress? Oh, it looks good to you. You know, we all lie a little bit within a relationship, but there's levels to lying. And obviously, I'm pretty sure she's talking about something very serious. As is so, she's obviously conveying PJ Washington lying by saying that, you know, he didn't do some things outside of their relationship, but he actually did. That's another story. However, with this whole vibrational match thing, again, she just gotta stop relying on the universe to give you signs. Rely on experience, learn from your mistakes, and move on forward from there to make sure you don't make those same mistakes again. All right? Focus on yourself. At the end of the day, focus on yourself. Have that creator's mentality to go out there to create a longevity of income and success and a foundation for you. Only you can create that for yourself. It starts with you. And yes, you can have people that come along with you during a ride and help elevate or enhance, you know, your clout or fame or success just as a whole. But it all starts with you before even then other people start to believe in you, right? So that is very critical amongst all of this. That is very critical. Now, last but not least, I have to say this is in my notes. One of the things that I think is very important, again, even though I said it in the previous part of the video, I have to emphasize it. I cannot stress that enough for the life of me. At the end of the day, for your OGs, for you males out there, strap it up. If you're not planning on wifing her up, strap it up. Unless you're planning on wifing her up, hit it any kind of way you want and create life into this world and blossom them into becoming great civilized citizens, just as you might have been in this present world as well. And for the ladies out there, you know what it is. Don't carry before you marry. In other words, marry before you carry. It is very essential to stop just opening your legs up to just anyone, right? But if you are to do that, understand that there are boundaries to this. And number one, you need to let them know that you need that rubber strapped up before we have any fun. Other than that, questions, comments, and concerns, please comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? That is my take. That is my reaction. I hope you like this video to the end. Other than that, stay determined, be effective, and have the fortitude to go through anything, no matter what, if you put your mind to it and you take action. Because we don't teach believe and receive on this channel. A lot of people can believe a lot of things. That doesn't mean they are deserving of those things. You have to work for what you want in life. Stop always having your hand out. Stop. Work for it. All right? Because you're going to have a lot more respect long term when people see that you work for what you wanted rather than asking all the time for what you want. Simply because of pretty privilege, white privilege, or whatever kind of privilege you may feel, so you feel you deserve those things. Nah, work for it. Because at the end of the day, like I always say, a dream is just a thought without action. Until next time, peace.